Prometheus and Alien Covenant. How do they stand years later? Let's find out. Hi everybody, and welcome to yet another unscripted review video, my dear friends. Well then, I rewatched Prometheus and Alien Covenant because, simply out of curiosity, because I haven't seen them since they originally came out, I believe. I saw both of these movies in cinema, and I might have seen them once since on DVD or Blu-ray. I own them on Blu-ray. And they tend to be controversial, those two films. Certainly, if you've been following European law for quite some time, you know that I'm not much of a fan of prequels and too many sequels and remakes and spin-offs and rip-offs and things like that. And I've always believed that the original Alien films don't need any prequels. And certainly they didn't need any explanations as of, as far as the origin of the xenomorph goes. I say that, from time to time you need a little bit of mystery, and it very often is the case that when there is something mysterious in a film or a book, in a story, it just works for the better. There is some sort of, mysterious xenomorph eggs somewhere on a planet when, the Nostromo ship receives the warning that they originally think it's SOS, but it's really no, stay away, which is the story from the original Alien film. And it's so very mysterious and suspenseful, and it's good, and it leaves you wondering, what the hell is it? Who left it there? What's the civilization that they found there? The space jockey that they found in that chamber. What's the wreckage of the huge oblong ship? What is it? So we have explanation with the Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And I have always found it a little bit underwhelming to get to know. And yes, there are going to be spoilers, but come on, those films are, at this point, is it a decade? More than I know that Covenant came out in 2017, so Prometheus must be more than a decade old. So there's not really anything, that I would be spoiling here. But nevertheless, spoiler alert, there will be spoilers. I have always found it a little bit underwhelming that David, the android, is basically the creator of the xenomorph as we know the xenomorph. Is a little bit debatable. He's not like the originator. We know from the films that the race of the aliens, those big, beefy, white guys, I can't remember what the name is now, that they were, working on biological weapons and weapons of mass destruction, and that they were also engineers. That's how they call them, engineers. So that they engineered us, basically. So they made us, and then they decided to get rid of us, to annihilate us, using one of their biological weapons of mass destruction. And they didn't. They didn't manage, because one of the viruses just broke out on their own ship. We find in Prometheus the chamber with a huge face and those little containers, which is very much resembles the scene from the original Alien when John Hurt finds the field of eggs, and he falls there, and he gets face hugger on his face. And so we know that they did really work out some sort of parasitic thing, virus that lays eggs in you and something comes out of you. So David isn't like the originator of it, but he perfected it. In between Prometheus and Covenant, we get to know that he spent a lot of time working out, basically the xenomorph, and did very nasty things to the planet that he arrived at, and also to the crew member, to the doctor, and the archaeologist that he traveled with. And first and foremost, that, right. So the Alien films, they didn't need prequels, things like that. I found it a little bit underwhelming because, every time when there is like a mystery and then they explain it, it's always a little bit less than you wanted because your own imagination possibly imagined something a little bit different. This being said, both films, Prometheus and Alien Covenant, are a fantastic standalone science fiction films. If I completely remove them from the rest of the quote-unquote franchise, and I'm using quote-unquote because I don't like the word franchise too much, I think they are absolutely very well made. I mean, come on, it's Ridley Scott. The cinematography, the craft, the editing, the camera, the direction, the acting, the special effects, the CGI, as well as the practical effects, is all very well made. Quite obviously, when you look at the xenomorph from Alien Covenant being all CGI, it's inferior to the practical effects from the original Alien, but that's just my personal opinion, that practical effects are always better for me than CGI. I don't mind the pacing, I don't mind the storytelling, I don't mind the story and the lore. It's just the connection with the original Alien is a little bit disappointing to me, if you know what I mean. And so I prefer to view Alien and Aliens and Alien 3 and even Alien Resurrection separated from Covenant and from Prometheus. See them as two separate things. Of course, you cannot avoid the connection of the two. You might possibly consider Prometheus to be a little bit removed, since not even the title bears the word alien, it's just Prometheus. So you can view Prometheus as, being removed from the other Alien films more so than Covenant. But what absolutely wins, what's absolutely like the best about these films, although I don't appreciate, or it was a little bit underwhelming, not too much. It's still a very good concept, a very good idea. That the new life form, the perfect life form, was created by an android. I to a certain extent, I love this idea, and before I move on, it needs to be said that these two films are actually very good. Also, because you can talk about them this way and philosophize about them, that you can say that, they're disappointing in this and that, but if I think about it objectively, it's a very good idea, and it's very well told, and this concept is great, and that concept is great, and if a movie makes you think for a considerable length of time, and if you think about the film for some time after multiple rewatchings, it's a good film. If a film is shite, you just know it's shite and you try to forget it. But I find so I originally wanted to say the David, Michael Fassbender as David, and then Walter and David, absolutely fantastic. I mean, he is a master actor, one of the better, younger living actors at the moment. I enjoy every single one of his performances. I think that the first film I really remember him being in and seeing him in was The Inglourious Bastards, and then obviously being Magneto in the the X-Men films, the young Magneto, and here David and Walter, absolutely great acting. And once again, even though originally it was a little bit underwhelming, I have to appreciate that the entire David story arc is fascinating to me. It's a very good concept, very good idea, and if you think about it, both these films are David's story. This is a story about the android David creating the xenomorphs, basically. So, finishing thoughts. They are not bad films. They are very good films. They're absolutely great films. At times, they might seem underwhelming when connected to the Alien films, the original ones. Right, so let me know in the comments down below what you think, and that will be all. Thank you very much for watching, and namaste.